All right, I have food. I have an awesome hat. I think we are ready to get this show on the road. Welcome to Whose Slide Is It Anyway, where 20 people, including you if you're brave enough, because I still have 3 open spots, come give a completely random talk based on my completely random slides, and then people ask you questions. There will be heckling. There will be fun. Please don't be disruptive. That would make me sad. But otherwise, yeah, have fun, drink, lots of alcohol in the Pixel Jam Lounge, I promise. More upstairs, I promise. It's good times. Anyway, I am going to pick a number, and let's see who's going to start this thing. Number 13. Valkyrie, are you here? I don't see her. She is not here yet. Da-da-da. Beltface is also not here yet. I know he's stuck at the hotel restaurant that was slow. Number 19, we don't have a number 19 yet. Could be you. We don't have a number 18 yet. Come on. This is... Grape Ape. You hear Grape Ape. Dagnabbit. Oh my God, they would love us. Number 5, that would be you, the illustrious Nightshade. Pick a number 1 to 20.
14.
All right, I'll fire up deck 14. Not here.
Ham? There's a directory named Ham. Is that where your ham radio software is?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, conferences. That's the directory I want. I'm like, there's no directory called
Derp.
Derp, indeed.
Oh wow, you keep the old Who slides too?
Oh yeah, I have all of them.
Snooker for Dummies. Yes. We will be teaching you tonight about the finest game in the universe, snooker. Yeah. Not Snooky, snooker. This is not the Jersey Shore. Thank you very much. Anyway, so as you can see, we have a number of numbers labeling our snooker board here with the D zone on one side. And next slide, please. Yes, in snooker, friendly fire is in fact legal, especially if it's fluffy and huggable, bright and orange. And no, I'm sorry, that is not hot. The furry thing just doesn't work, really. Yeah, but that's why it's friendly fire. You want to kill this little fucker. Next slide, please. And you need a number of raw materials, when you're playing snooker. It's remarkably complex game, and cutlasses, really? Okay. We're playing pirate snooker. Thank you. Yes, cutlasses and ukuleles. It's pirate karaoke snooker. With a few other ingredients, for glue guns, just in case you break your cutlass. Bug antennae, because I can never have enough antennae, right?
Those aren't actually on the graph.
They aren't?
Where do you see them?
These right here are not on the graph? Green?
Wrong color.
Have you considered checking if you see all the colors?
So you X issue, man. Color blindness is a thing.
I understand that. Next slide, please. Da Bears and Ditka. Yes, Ditka is actually a very big fan of snooker. It's what he does to relax on the weekends after he's finished yelling at a ref and getting ejected out of Soldier Field. That's really what he likes to do. What's the BJ about? BJ and the Bears? I don't see any BJ. Oh, the BJ? Well, do you remember the old TV series BJ McKay and his best friend Bear? Do you remember that from the 80s? No? Okay. You do? Great. I'm glad to know that somebody else is as old as me here. Next slide, please. And to sum the whole thing up, yes, snooker is morally depraved. That's why we all like to play it. It is a cesspit of everything horrible. Next slide, please.
That is the final slide. Now you can take questions about snooker.
Okay, so I'll open up to everyone for questions here. Anyone? Oh yes, barbecue sauce.
If you let a guy put his thing there, does that make you gay?
The question is, if you let a guy put his thing there, does that make you gay? Well, I think that has. We'll go with cat food and say fuck yeah.
I'm gay then. Woo!
Yes, over here. You threaten the other player with it. That's why it's morally depraved. You can do whatever you want. Yes, Nooksy. The spark plugs? Well, you have to get the internal combustion engine underneath the snooker board running. So there has to be a spark plug there, in the cylinder to ignite the fuel. Yes. I think I would be in favor of that. Yes. What about Ditka's cutlass? I don't think we want to go there. We don't want to disturb the Ditka right now. Okay, you want to go there? Well, go there by yourself. Any other final questions?
I think with that. Thank you, Nightshade, for being our first victim. Subject. Person. Sigflop. Pick a number, 1 to 20. 12. All right, I will fire up number 12. Oh my goodness, are you gonna?
Yes. Your computer is trolling you, bro, clown.
My computer hates me.
It's just trolling. You see it trolling. We hate him.
Hello, my name is Sigflop Sinislabel, and today I will be talking about how to sell broken goods to a scammer. Step number 1, put it on Craigslist. That's a good way to get scammers, I think. Say that the red ring in your Xbox really is an orange ring, or a blue ring, or a gray ring, and we are back to the color blindness thing, or blinking for people who are colorblind. Next slide, please. Say information about selling to scammer. Knock knock jokes. I think that's all I have to say about that for obvious reasons. Fence posts and rope coils, and then we got glass shards, and then we got this little diagram in the middle. Next slide, please. Balls are a good thing to sell to a scammer. All sorts of balls. He got a little balls connected by whatever, and then he got billiard balls. Monkey balls? Monkey balls. Yes. That's exactly what you want to sell to a scammer. Next slide, please. Choosing. Choosing which ball, of course, relies on a crucial choice. Serial bus balls, charge your phone balls, move your data balls, or make eating your Wheaties easy balls. Next slide, please.
Oh, man.
I got nothing.
I think Mr. Nooksy has a question.
Yes, sir.
What is your favorite Furby?
What's my favorite Furby? About adoption Furby. What is your favorite Furby?
I don't know what the Furbies are.
I see. Next question, please.
The real question here is, what's your favorite breakfast cereal?
Wheaties, obviously. Next question, please. Yes.
Do you have big balls?
I have several.
Are they big?
I've never compared my balls with anyone else, really. But I have several, I assure you.
Yeah, are your balls lucky?
I think we have a volunteer.
Next question, please. You, sir.
Why isn't it more efficient to transport the oat pieces and the marshmallows in parallel? It seems to make sense to me.
Does it? Does it really make sense to you? Doesn't make sense to me. Next question, please. You, sir.
So, back to the ball comparison. Are your balls bigger than my balls? And can that be verified by an independent third party?
The question is, are they always bouncing from the left into the right?
It's more of a soft sway when it comes to my balls.
According to socks, my balls are bigger than yours.
That's very low.
Do they hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a bow?
Do they have an axial bias?
I think everything is said about your question by the audience. Next question. Oh, you have no other questions.
I think we found out everything we need to know about Sigflup's balls.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's see. Number 19. We don't have a number 19 yet. Would anybody like to come and be our number 19? Yes! Yay! Hi, and what is your name? Elizabeth, welcome to Whose Slide Is It Anyway? Pick a number 1 to 20.
13.
All right. Here's your microphone. I'll fire up slide deck 13.
Excellent. I'm very glad to have a chance to be here tonight. I was feeling sort of, what? That's a what?
Yeah, you're off camera right now.
Oh. Very glad to be here. I was sort of sorry that I hadn't signed up, but now I'm so glad that I have a chance to talk to you tonight about underwater problem set weaving, choosing the most college major for you. Now, college major choosing is a very important choice. As you all know, there are a number of factors that need to be considered, including, next slide please, what to do when it is raining sugar water. The trees are sugar buzz. There are puddles of syrupy goodness everywhere. However, there are some disadvantages to choices that you can make, such as stickiness and strawberries. Next slide. However, some of the positive things about your college major choice are that you might be able to smell like a civet, have a wacky wiggly nose, and have some grass underneath you. So what I want you guys all to do, I want you to put yourself in this situation. We're going to do a little immersive visualization. I want you to all take a deep breath in through your nose. Ready? And out. Thank you, everyone. Let's be present in this moment together and smell with our noses. Next slide, please. And so, there are important decisions to be made. There are also trivial decisions to be made. The first step is to divide yourself into a pie. Second step is to hop on a bicycle. Second step is to ride your bicycle through the pie. And your third question is to...
What?
Yes. Next. And finally, now I always thought that this was in fact a kind of smelly weasel, but no, apparently cromulent means... To conclude, the reason why you all should be very careful about choosing your college major is so that you will all leave college knowing the difference between a noun and an adjective. Next slide, please. Is that it? All right. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
Should the honey badger care about his underwater problem?
Honey badger doesn't give a shit. Yes.
In a fight, who would win? A belt face or a honey badger?
Yes. Next question. All right, we are sorted. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Speaking of belt face, get up here. Seriously. I drew your number. How about a number 1 to 20?
17.
All right, deck 17.
All right, we're going to see how this goes.
Horribly wrong.
Probably. It will be belt-faced.
No, horribly wrong.
Horribly right.
Yeah, I was going to say, no longer knows what right it is. It's like playing snooker.
So today we're going to talk about how to map out your future with a career in cartography, because we all know that maps are incredibly important. It has helped propel the human race into the amazing position that it is today. Next slide, please. As you can see, nothing actually runs like a deer, in that if we did not have maps, we would not know where the deers were in order to make ourselves an advanced race. Exactly. And so, as you can see, John Deere was instrumental in propelling the human race to its advanced position as a dominant species. Next slide, please. Now, the racehorses, on the other hand, are a completely different story. They're usually the first thing you find in your pantry, because obviously they're incredibly delicious.
Is that because you shopped at Whole Foods?
Possibly. But however, I usually think horse meat comes from, what is it, London? England? Yes. Anyway, when there are 3 random words in a book, you want to remove all the spaces, but use hot sauce on your guacamole. And when you're trying to make a decent password to protect yourself, use the name of your grandfather's first grade teacher. We are. But you can also use them as a password. Possibly, depending on the store you go to. If you go to Costco, I'm sure you can just ask them and they will accommodate.
But can I just Google someone's grandfather's first grade teacher now? It's no longer secure.
Maybe. However, it's kind of like your mother's maiden name. Will always be secure. Next slide, please. And as you can see right here, by this graph, the human race is becoming really, really good at what it does at making maps. These other lines, you can see the decline of other species, such as the deer or the racehorse, which is the brown line. Now, other species have been going up, but nothing can quite reach the peak of the human race. Next slide, please. And cheesecake is absolutely delicious. I would highly recommend any type of chocolate in the cheese. I just started eating cheesecake recently, and I'm absolutely in love with it. Next slide, please.
That's it.
Okay, any questions?
So I had a question about the previous slide.
Can you go back one slide, please?
Transformers. Are we talking about the 80s toys or the actual useful electronic device? I mean, come on.
Actually, both, because the Transformers from the 80s cartoon actually do use Transformers in order to transform. Next question?
Are you lying?
No. Yes.
About the other slide where you're selecting the names, what happens? How do you get your source if you're attempting to password protect your racehorse?
If you're attempting to password protect your racehorse, you want to use SHA 256, and in that case, you might want to use a double algorithm in order to prevent the. Yes. Next question. Exactly. MD5, your MD5.
I've got a question for you.
Go for it.
Can you go to the slide, the next slide over? There you go. Now I notice normally, the bell curve going up like this. I see that this is a little bit sharper and angular. Is this more of an example of a belt-face curve?
Actually, many statisticians have actually debated this topic. You can see right here there is a peak, and then this sharp down curve that looks like the absolute value curve is actually being renamed to the belt face curve due to the significant decrease that can happen at an instant.
What goes to 11?
Anything including and up to an amplifier for a guitar.
Thank you, Beltface. All right, number 3, Dr. Barasek. Pick a number 1 to 20.
1 to 20. I will go with number 16. Is this on? Can you hear me? Yes. Can you hear me? Yes. Woo! All right. Awesome. 16. Whose slide is it anyway? Hello, hello, hello. My name is Dr. Barasek, world-renowned hacker sociologist. And today we're going to be talking about the elusive belt face. The elusive belt face doesn't wear boring stripes like he was yesterday. Instead, the elusive belt face likes to wear diagonal leopard print spiral stripes. This is how you spot him in this is how you spot him in his native habitat. Next slide, please. Now, The elusive belt face is what we geeks like to call a super geek. He spends his time building ancient weaponry. In this case, this is his trebuchet. This is how he gets from one con to the other, by building a trebuchet and launching himself. So we have his sophisticated scientific descriptions of detail A, heavy counterweight, slings and beams and payload. He likes Greek letters, alpha, beta, gamma, and the other various ones I've forgotten in the many drunken years since my fraternity days.
Beta, epsilon, lambda, tau.
There we go. And belt face would never be caught dead using Microsoft Paint. If you see a belt face, or something that looks like a belt face using Microsoft Paint, it's instead the mock belt face, not the real belt face. Next one. So, in order to find the elusive camping ground of the belt face, we have to follow this little map. So, as I'm standing in front of the map, we basically start here, and we go up and then down and around and here. Now, the belt face likes to make it hard to find him, but if we pay attention, we go around the circle here, and then through here, and there, we find our belt face. Next, please. Now, when you find the belt face, don't stare it directly in the eyes. Because if you stare the belt face directly in the eyes, you may melt. However, if you avoid staring the belt face in the eyes, he will bow his head. And then he will say, "Congratulations," and he will give you a donut.
The belt face get a donut as well.
No, the belt face doesn't get jack. So, this is the elusive tale of the belt face. This is how we find him, and this is the elusive reward for finding the belt face. Are there any other stories for the famed hacker, sociologist? Yes, sir. What type of donut do you receive for finding the belt face? You find the cat-like typing detected donut from the belt face. Oh, there was another one. Oh, my bad. In conclusion, what we receive is a cat-like typing detective donut. And what that donut does is it blocks you from seeing things normally. Instead, you see big gray blotches in front of your eyes with little pictures here and there. So you have to be careful about eating that donut because the elusive belt face is kind of cruel like that. Another question. Sir.
I was horrified by the donut. I'm wondering what the dark, like purple goo in the middle of it.
It's the Cookie Monster.
The dark purple goo, that is the saliva from the elusive belt face. And what that saliva does is it poisons you. And then you see, go back to the other slide, please. That's when you see the gray box because of that elusive saliva-esque purple stuff. Ma'am.
So is the donut actually useful for anything other than, I don't know, like feeding to your enemies?
The donut is there so that you pass out. And then the belt face can take pictures of you on Twitter. Because that's how the belt face comes into reality. By having pictures taken of a random person and then being born onto Twitter as the belt face. Sir, did you have a question?
Yes. What do you do when your cat can spell on the keyboard?
When your cat can spell on the keyboard, you go hide in your basement. Because that means that the cats are taking over the world, and thus dog people are scared. Yes?
But my cats live in the basement.
You're screwed. Next question. Sir.
What happens when your cats become belt faces?
When your cats become belt faces,
That's not funny.
Apparently it's not funny when your cats become belt faces, and that's true. Because when your cats become belt faces, they multiply, and then they take over the world. And the only thing that can stop them is a zombie apocalypse. Sir.
When is the best time to wear your leopard print spirals striped leggings?
May 31st, 2017. Anyone else? Other questions about the elusive belt face? Then I thank you, and good day.
Thank you, Dr. Barsek. Number 8, Nooksy. Pick a number 1 to 20.
7. I deliberately picked one not your recent files list.
I am not surprised. Because you just wanted to be a pain in my ass, didn't you?
The gremlins, we fed them after dark.
Advances in plastic foam technology during the third quarter of 2012. I wrote these slides a while ago. They might be a little out of date already. The field moves very, very, very fast. Next slide, please. This is a plastic foam cage we are storing a monkey in. He got out. It is not suitable for storing a monkey. He almost died from the cold, too. It was very cold. Next slide. On triangles, when you build it out of a triangle is a much more solid form. It works a little better than the square box you saw in the previous slide. Right triangles have 3 sides. There are triangles with more than 3 sides, built by people who failed engineering. What? Let's see. Yeah, there are also other polygons with more than 3 sides, like the square that did not hold the monkey. And there are definitely wrong triangles. You do not want to use scalene or isosceles triangles. Those are terrible. And just forget everything else you learned in trigonometry. Next slide. Alien currency. This is clearly a trap. You do not want the free money. People will offer you free money. Do not take it. Your plastic foam is not worth free money.
Next slide.
Yeah. To sum it up, we have some very nice salesman vehicles for this. The burnt truck is an excellent way to sell it.
Too sober.
Too sober? Okay.
That's water, guys.
It is a very delicious novel. Not Nom Nom Truck. Delicious. Are there any questions? Is this the last slide?
That is the last slide.
Any questions? Yes, Noshi?
Question. First of all, why are you so biased against scalene and isosceles triangles?
Because I can't spell.
If you were, say, making your plastic foam in higher dimensions, like 4 or 5, etc., and plus.
That's classified. If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
That would be an interesting day.
You, sir.
Can you explain the triangular form on your shirt?
No, I can't. That is a trade secret. You, sir, in the back.
Is the food on the trucks made out of the foam as well?
Yes. It is delicious and moist. You.
So if I wanted a plastic foam hypercube, you would have to kill me?
Yes.
Are you planning on offering food made from the elusive belt face in the future?
We've been trying to turn the elusive belt face into plastic foam. We'd have to go catch one. We're having some trouble with that.
What happened to the monkey?
We don't know.
Why do fools fall in love?
Because they found a monkey.
What's the meaning of life?
42.
Thank you. What am I thinking?
I don't know. This is not a mind reading seminar. That is next door. No. That's cube. We only build triangles.
Will the plastic foam be taking over the human race at any point in time?
No. It is inert.
What do you do with the toxic waste left over from the foam?
Next question. What was that?
Do nachos have to be triangular?
No, but we only make triangles. We've been over this. Please stop asking about the other polygons. We still have more questions. I don't know.
Thank you, Nooksy. Sorry, that was a number I already used and forgot to ball up and throw away. Number 16, progress. Pick a number 1 to 20.
4.
Lose the sideburns. Grow out the sideburns.
Where did your sideburns go?
I have no opinion on your sideburns.
Open lid.
Come on.
Try clicking harder. PC load letter. Symlinks, do you speak it?
Try turning it off and on again.
7, you said?
4.
Sorry, 4. 7 was the last one. I'm slow, but I'm dumb.
All right, everybody, I'm here to advertise my ignorance for you today about the finest things on Earth, including the excellent firewood and good timber.
Is that metaphorical firewood or real firewood?
We'll discuss that later on in the presentation. Next slide, please. Now, once you get your good timber and get a good fire going, what you can do is you can melt your bottles. You can keep the caps on the bottle with a little bit of water in them and watch them explode. So that's fun, and that's about all I have to say about that. He certainly does. Thank you very much. Next slide. So Balloon Fishy 2000 is a creation that I made when I was a child. He was my best and only friend, actually. He helped me through hard times and helped me with my manageable small-sized problem that I was experiencing at the time. And clearly, it was the stuff of nightmares. Please, next slide. To tie it all up, I'm going to run away, go find a kiosk to get a butter container and hide under it. That's about it. That's about it.
Questions?
Yeah.
Do you ever put your bottle on a poodle eating noodle? With a Tweedle Beetle battle?
Only on Wednesdays.
Is the mustache related to the sideburns?
Apparently not.
Did the road smash you great?
We can discuss that later on as well.
Did you feel you belt-faced your way through that particular presentation?
I tried to do it like I could.
What is your small man rule problem?
You and I can discuss that with this man back here later on tonight.
Where's the waffle kiosk?
Excuse me?
Where's the waffle kiosk?
The waffle kiosk. You know, I couldn't find that. You know why? Because everything seems to be closed on Saturdays. I don't know what the deal is about that. We tried to get food earlier. Everything's closed, including the waffle kiosk.
Try to keep the waffles to yourself.
I'm selfish.
So why didn't you include balls in the finest thing?
That's part about that small size, manageable problem thing that we discussed.
Do you foresee waffles replacing Bitcoin as the new currency?
Only if you can farm them adequately.
Dr. Bearsec, Hacker News. Sir, are you actually the head of an illicit waffle cartel operating in the Midwest?
It depends. Are you looking for a job?
Sure, why not? Absolutely.
You have a question over there, too.
What's, oh, wow, I'm sorry.
Does the chicken and waffle man really love us?
He does. He really does.
What's your opinion on the giant maple heists from Canada? Maple syrup heists.
I think they're selfish and really don't appreciate Aunt Jemima enough.
What are the best knots used to tie up the chicken and waffle man?
If I were a sailor, I'd be able to tell you, but I'm not.
Which came first, the chicken or the waffle man?
The waffle man, so that way he could love the chicken once it came.
Nice.
All right, I'm done.
Thank you, progress. Number 2, that would be Megalos. All right, pick a number 1 to 20.
52.
1 to 20.
14.
14. We've already done 14. Try again.
5.
All right. You get deck number 5.
Thank you.
I think I'll do that. Thank you.
HackerCon, yo.
I had a jerk today. Thank you for the awesome suggestion.
Okay, so I'm here to talk about proper ways of opening up con folders here.
You're off camera when you're on that side.
Oh, I'm off camera? Maybe I want to be. Maybe it's better that way.
Yes.
All right, so as we can see, we're here to welcome you to the wonderful world of 2013 World of Computer Throwing Championships. As you can understand, this probably was inspired and traces its roots back to the early days that were chronicled in the movie Office Space, wherein it started out originally with, I believe it was a LaserJet 4M type printer. However, things have evolved, namely the problems that had to go on with the human bodies, namely from the computers being so big and heavy that it was causing a lot of back problems. So unfortunately we had to transition to a lighter weight laptop such as this. Slide, please. All right, so as we can see, there's some definite high fashion going on here, which you'll see in the world of laptop tossing. Usually we need to put some thought with what we're wearing and specifically what we're tearing. I believe Janet Jackson might have something to think about as far as what exactly is torn and how that can cause specific or tactical wardrobe malfunctions at serious times. Obviously, we want to prominently apply eyeliner. Usually a nice liberal dose of it is preferred. And 5 cans of Aquanet hairspray should be the minimum. Think this, when you're applying your Aquanet hairspray, what you generally want to think is when you leave that room, you shouldn't be able to find the door on the way out, so you'll probably need to wait a little bit till the cloud clears. Typically, this exact phenomenon actually was tracing its roots back as an interesting sidebar to the television studios, wherein the female anchors, co-hosts and such, would be offset primping and preening. That's where we got the number 5 from, because it was the square root of the actual number of cans that they used. Next slide, please. That is a very real possibility, and let me reassure you, let me make it absolutely clear that I will never let you go, I will never give you up. So, let's take a time to road trip. As we see here, this is actually how you spell Belt-Face Road right here, with the Z's, the Y's, and the Z's again. That is properly spelled in Cyrillic, I believe it is, using the Belt-Face font. Dips. Sorry, it was very late when I was putting these slide shows together, but I thought it was very funny that everybody else would avoid a road that was flooded. In fact, if you were to go to Nightshades and Mind Conference, you would have known about domestic preparedness. But those that didn't go, obviously it would be dipshits, but obviously dipshit wouldn't fit on a screen on a board. So we had to just make this message specifically targeted to a certain group of people, addressing them as dips. Don't enter when flooded. Okay. I'm sorry. This slide just never ceases to amaze me. We actually have. It amazes me as to the amount of money that we spend on stuff. Unbeknownst to even me, who's the mayor of the town. But apparently the police and fire had to justify their budget somehow. So now whenever they actually crafted policies recently to actually put up a sign saying "Welcome to the accident," it's a nicer way of saying "Be careful," caution, and so on. By welcoming people to the accident scene, it's a change from reality, and they see this and go, gee, you know, that's something different. It sticks out, and so they're a little bit more cautious. It's actually saved lives. What kind of lives, you ask? Lives of penguins that are crossing the street. Okay, they should be on one side of the street, but accidentally crossing the other. Next slide, please. Dada bingo. Okay, this is kind of like Dido bingo, but just slightly different. Dada bingo, basically just take a look at these words, and anytime you hear somebody, actually how I play it, I love this game, is when I hear Joe Biden giving a speech, it's almost obvious he's going to flub somewhere and use one of these words in his speech, especially when it comes to gun control, and somebody such as Deviant or illustrious Nightshade over here asks a hard-hitting question, and he's just at a loss for words because he just can't believe anybody would dare question his authority. He might actually let out with something like body or dove bip, just thinking possibly for a reply. Next slide. And finally, bubbles, basketballs, and boobies. I mean bobbies. I mean, who doesn't like bobbies? What more can I say, What more can I say? So I guess I got a few more minutes here. I sure wish I could save time in a bottle. The first thing that I think I would do is ask for questions in the audience. Anybody?
Does the free space from the previous slide, is it caused by belt space?
It's possible. It's actually a misconception. Believe it or not, free space is just the opposite of that because, as we all know, belt face actually got the term from the lack of free space in front of his face, which was, of course, obscured by a belt. Yes, sir.
I've heard that the computer throwing champion, also known as belt face, squeals when he does his super throw. Can you imitate that squeal for us?
There you go. Thank you.
I think you're being cheered off the stage. Thank you, Megalos. Number 6, cat food. How about a number 1 to 20?
Lucky 6.
All right, deck number 6 is yours.
I came here with low self-esteem, and Jamie's not fucking helping. And the first thing I need your help and cooperation in this. If you could all meditate and consider the immortal words of Froggy, where he said this afternoon, people aren't fucking drinking enough. Because this audience is way too together. What am I speaking on tonight? I don't remember. Oh shit. No, I remember America Online because that's how I got stuck with a stupid ass nickname. Because I created my AOL account. Because I had to do something with all those floppy disks, and I had too many coasters, and so I started to log on, and I had to pick a username, and I just typed cat food because it was less than 8 letters, and it only accommodated that many at the time, and I kind of got stuck with it. Now all of my friends call me cat food, except the people who've known me less than about 15 years. Next slide. Not technically compatible with the newest release of the AOL software. How many of you are running the latest AOL software? Yes, that's right, the 2007 update. And they finally caught up with compatibility to Windows 98. And now if you hold down Control and Alt and Shift F7, it like opens up a chat window and you can talk to a penguin.
This is about AOL, not Emacs.
Oh, you want to talk Emacs?
Great operating system, horrible editor.
I heard you like text editors, yo. What? But the thing is, if you know, there's a niche application for everything, and for baby penguins, Emacs running on an AOL substrate is what you need. I mean, the security holes are a nightmare, but the baby penguins don't know any better. They won't figure it out. Next slide, please. Yeah. Okay. Now this is all. You know, a lot of people don't get this the first time through, so I'm going to go real slow for you idiots. This here is all. You know, my phone hasn't rung all day. I'm just saying. Thank you, Jamie. This here is about Jamie.
About your phone.
Yes, what about my phone?
Okay, can we go back to the slide before? I see there's a
Yep.
penguin there. Is that to signify that your phone is using a stripped-down version of Linux, like such as the Android operating system, not the normal implementation?
Honey, you can't strip Linux down any more than I've done already. It's Linux in the raw, baby.
It's like the flip phone with the tiny little keyboard.
And DeLorean doors. Technically not vegetarian, just saying. Jamie, whose slide is this anyway? Does anybody have any questions on this? Because I think it's really kind of obvious, but I also realize this audience is not that bright. So, I mean, do I need to read it out loud for you?
Tungsten's so snazzy.
You know, your snazzy is my fabulous. Any more questions? Okay, next slide. Self-evident, self-contradictory, and this is myself. Next slide. What?
You have like an entire
This can't wait.
recycling and like this much actual trash. That is not what you need at the house.
So what you're saying is my cats don't shit enough. Okay. I think Mario is supposed to be here, and Luigi is supposed to be here. Shut up. You're not helping. Who's the first one? Who can calculate the cubic volume, the volume of all the cubes on this screen? You. Yes.
539 cubic feet.
Oh, you cheated. You in the back.
I was told there would be no math.
This is not math, it's fucking physics.
Over 9,000.
Keep my mother out of this. Okay, does anybody actually have any real questions?
Is there an Escher element hidden in here? Because the water level over there looks...
That's not funny. Next.
Did you say you're classy or trashy?
Do I have to pick one?
Yes.
Yes, but trashy.
Why do good things happen to bad people?
Because they deserve it. This is the weirdest thing. Denver, am I right? Yeah. What is up with this? Potheads shooting each other in Denver? What? Yes, Rocky Mountain High. Let's keep this moving. You didn't have your hand up, but it doesn't matter.
I would like to know exactly how the blocks...
I wasn't pointing you, I was pointing at her.
Oh, well, fine.
Yeah.
Be that way.
Actual question.
Why do birds sing so gay?
I see what you did there. Yes, sir.
I have a real question. How did these Minecraft blocks relate to the application of tungsten in briefcase technology?
What talk are...
Don't face that question.
Yeah, what talk did you come to anyway?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay, anybody on this side have an actual question that will not further damage my self-esteem? Yes, you back there.
How are baby penguins supposed to live in this environment?
They're supposed to self-deport. Okay, you in the back with no hair. Nobody owns up to it. Okay. In your mind or in reality? Yes. Not. That didn't work. You, sir.
Are these the Youngstown State penguins, or are they more southern?
It's the southern penguins, the ones that are below, south of the Mason-Dixon line, but not too far south. Okay, there's a fine balance to be maintained there. I'm just very depressed at the moment. Now, sir.
What's your favorite color?
Oh my God, that's so fucking complicated. I love the rainbow, honey. Okay, moving right along. Yes, you're the man. You know, somehow you managed to ask the weirdest question. Whose slide is it anyway? I'm like, can we kick people out of this thing or what? No, that's a stupid question. Yes?
What sound does your self-esteem make when it hits the floor?
Kind of a fart. It kind of goes. No, I can't be done yet.
Thank you, cat food. Number 20. We don't have a number 20. Would anyone like to be our number 20? Yay! We have a volunteer. I mean victim. I mean volunteer. Pick a number 1 to 20 for your deck. 3. All right, deck number 3. My computer just shut.
All right, so I'm sure you've all seen, Barnaby Jack's presentations from DEF CON about ATM hacking. You might have seen a little bit about casino hacking in the past, but we're going to kick this up a level. Yeah. Don't just hit the jackpot, kick the jackpot. Next slide, please. If you're going to kick the jackpot, you have to know your animals and know how they kick, because there is a significant amount of difference between the sort of kicks delivered by llamas, polar bears, cheetahs, racehorses, and caribous. Llamas and racehorses, they're going to do more of a backwards kick because of how their knees and ankles are made. Whereas a cheetah, I don't know. If a cheetah kicked me, I'd actually be a little more clawed up. But still, this is important in making sure you kick your jackpot correctly. You have to tailor the kick of your animal to the jackpot that you are going to kick. Next slide, please.
You don't know llamas.
You must further you must further make certain that whatever your animal is, it must be 100% all original Bubs. Know the difference. This is a cat. This is a Bubs. This is a cat. This is a Bubs. No, that cat is actually on time-release methylphenidate, but they're both dopamine reuptake inhibitors, so they'll have a very similar effect. All right. So once you've selected your animal for its correct kick, and made sure you have verified that it is 100% Bubs, and be aware that, in a couple of months, I've got some research going on right now on Bubs verification, so hopefully you'll see that in a few months. The next thing you're going to have to do is tailor a slide to the jackpot itself. It's going to require bullet points, it needs graphs, it needs pictures. I'm not so sure about the Triceratops or the barbecue girl now that I think about it. I changed my mind a lot about these things. But blinking neon animation, absolutely a must. Next slide. So in conclusion, once your animal has kicked the jackpot, retrieving all of the lovely, chewy, juicy, moist jackpot interiors for you, you must deploy the trampoline so that your animal can escape, leaving you to enjoy the fruits of your jackpot.
When
Yes?
Road Clown makes these slides, is
still trying to work that out. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some ketamine involved. Okay, we got a question in the back here. Okay, I'll take that. I'm assuming he knows you better than I do. Yes. Is he caught in a landslide? Is there any escape from reality? Yes. I refuse to answer that question, whether it might incriminate me or not. TQ. You're going to have to go back to Knuth on that one. I'm not sure you read that correctly. Behind TQ.
Hey, Bob, can I have my bike back now?
It's outside. Yes. Well, then it's just an Olean, and then what good is it? Yes, back there. No, you, the one that's turning around. Yes, Corwin. I'm not sure, but with the right parser, we can probably make it message compatible. Yes.
Do you have any free samples of the aforementioned acid for the crowd today?
I refuse to answer that question, whether it might incriminate me or not. That was not actually a parameter in my empirical studies, but that would be a very interesting avenue for investigation. We should talk later. This could be an interesting avenue for research. Yes. No, you're actually going to want to look. That was I can't remember the guy's name right now. Look in PubMed.
That's not funny.
Thank you, Meredith. Number 17, Mike Klein. Pick a number 1 to 20 for your deck. Oh, there are plenty. Deck number 3.
I don't normally like to give this talk without backup, but it's just Cleveland.
That one that I did was just number 3.
Oh.
New one.
4?
4's been done.
Oh, God, you're killing me here. 5? No, it's done. I trust you. 9.
Number 11 hasn't been done. I heard number 11 from the crowd.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? It'd make it so much easier. But, sorry to say, they don't. They look just like you and me. Well, they never look like you. Okay. Now, we now move to the audience interaction portion of the talk. Now, if I told you there's a hooligan up here, do you think you could actually spot him? And I'd like to point out, not one cardigan in the bunch. Who here can step up?
He's hiding his cardigan.
Right! Exactly. You can't even get to the state level without being a hooligan in this country. Every one of them. Cardiganless hooligan. Next slide, please. Okay. I know you recognize yourself here. I used to look just like that. But after a couple of tabs of we're not going to go there. So, the only 100% reliable antivirus. Now, we say 100%, we all know the truth. It's not really 100%. Nothing works all the time. Except, and this is where you really have to pay attention, cut the cord. You cut the cord, they cannot hack you. Cardigan or no cardigan. Cut your troubles, cut the cord. Repeat after me. Thank you very much. Okay, make your computer unhackable. I know you think it is, but you're wrong. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, You recognize him now. In the early days, SpongeBob actually sported, yes, a cardigan. And it didn't help him hack. This garb here let him infiltrate the typical corporate environment, where you're loud, bubbling, and if you have to, you live in a cubicle. Oh, I'm sorry, a pineapple. Now, I know Notacon pants are optional, but in the corporate environment, wear pants. It makes the hacking much, much easier.
Not to allow it's down with pants.
Aren't skirts way more comfortable?
I have no experience of that. I swear, it wasn't me.
How about kilts?
Kilts are pretty fucking cool. If you can pull that off, you should. I bow to your superior wisdom, sir. But I have the mic. Next slide, please. Oh, hold on a second. I got to tweet this. This definitely puts the lull back in the cat. Hope it puts a smile on your face, too. Okay. So, you think you still got those tabs? Nope. Someone here looks a little extra happy and had them all. Next slide, please.
That is your final slide.
That's my final slide. Okay, well. And I'm sorry there's no questions there. Okay. Oh, you, sir.
After your presentation, do you plan to do a little dance? Maybe make a little love? Generally, just get down tonight?
And get down tonight. With you, if you say yes.
Sure, why not?
All right. That was boring. You, sir, with the hand.
Where your cat can get to that.
So,
Why do you leave your pill bottles where your cat can get to that?
It's tough. It's tough. Ever since the opposable thumb mutation of 2004, it's been much, much, much trickier. That's why I recommend two-factor authentication on all your cabinets. You already got me. Don't worry about it. You in the back.
Does SpongeBob cut the cord before or after taking hallucinogenic drugs?
Yes, and during as well. Okay.
Which cats are more fun, or which animals are more fun in your pill? Cats, dogs, or bugs?
Well, you put the cats and dogs together, it more than doubles the fun. You get an exponential return.
Awesome.
Thank you. Well, if there's no further questions, you can buy my book in the back. It's only $29.95. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Number 13. Valkyrie, are you here? I still don't see you, which is you're going back in the stack. 15. Yaz, are you here? You're not here either. Number 18. We don't have a number 18, so anybody, it may be you. Come on up. And what is your name?
I love fake Facebook updates, just not on my wall because I'm playing sick from a maintenance update that I was supposed to do at noon today. Shh.
Please introduce yourself to the crowd and give me a number for a deck.
My name is Ian, and let's do 5. Oh, 5's done already?
5's done.
Let's
Do you
do.
have 5 or 2 and 8.
Let's do 2. I'm doing things that quack like a duck.
Barbecue sauce's ass at 3 in the morning.
Next slide, please.
That's not funny.
Things that quack like a duck is also apparently fun with boxes. You can hack it, play with it, but you cannot use it for storage. I'd love nothing more, Nick. Although I'm not quite sure playing with my box is involving either hacking with it because, well, yeah, never mind. Next slide. You know, the internet was a series of tubes, according to one Alaskan senator. I don't think you can fix those tubes, though. Next slide. Well, and things that I apparently do have in my kitchen, I do have a giant chalkboard for people to leave messages on. I do not have marbles, wingnuts, or bottle caps. However, with enough requests are there, you know, I could implement them at a later release. Why do I feel like there's a dead pig in the back of that little box? Off to its way to make tasty, tasty bacon. Bacon. Questions from the audience, except for you, Nick.
Is bacon part of your upcoming release?
Bacon is part of my upcoming release. Bacon, sriracha, avocado, deviled eggs.
There's a rumor going around that the internet is really, really, really great for porn. Is that true?
Yeah, but you know, you've got like kind of the scammy side of things, which are like the cam shows, and you've got the good side of things, which are sites like Pornably, which it does HD streaming with Flow Player. But, you know, Google is your best friend, and I know nothing about this. More questions?
Regarding the aforementioned marbles and olive oil.
Can you go back? Pie graph, please. Olive oil really doesn't do anything for bacon except make it taste like olive. That's kind of like turkey bacon. You know, the only way to make turkey bacon taste good is to put it in bacon grease and cook it, which kind of really defeats the point of turkey bacon. Save the olive oil for the Italian stuff. And then again, I've not really found an Italian dish that goes well with bacon other than lasagna when I replace the pasta with bacon sheets. Well, my advice to that is to take your cable modem or DSL modem, because if you're using dial-up, you're obviously not in this room, and just immerse it in the olive oil until it starts to quack or the magic smoke disappears. Look, I've got my cardiologist on speed dial. No, but that could have some possibility there.
When will Google be bringing water hoses to my house?
You've got a better shot of moving to Austin or Provo first.
Can you use the olive oil to clear the tubes?
Oh, I didn't think that water and oil ever mixed. That's kind of like bourbon and beer.
How many bottle caps will your next release cost?
If you're running the New Vegas version, it'll probably run about the cost of admittance to Vegas, but if you're still in Fallout 3, my guess is you could probably pick it up for about 500 caps.
Thank you, Ian. Number 14, barbecue sauce. All right, barbecue sauce, what number slide deck do you want? All right, you're getting deck number 19 because I say so.
Good evening. Any questions?
You suck!
Only on Thursdays. Actually, they are, I think, what is it, an A-B, where it's an almost B? I think that's the way the sizing. Oh, fuck. Okay, so, show of hands here. Who already has been an octopus? Bullshit, Mike. You're too tall. All right, so, tonight we're going to go over how to become an octopus in 6 easy steps. Next slide, please.
You told me it was 7 last night.
I did, and I lied to you. Now, now, real quick, I want to first take a sidebar and talk about how Notacon is becoming much more children-friendly this year. It's more kids with just as much fucked up behavior. All right, so this is the safety slide. It comes with food-grade stainless steel. It's easier than ever to clean, and there are no dull edges. In fact, this requires no sharpening whatsoever. Generally, the children's bones are enough to do that by themselves. All right. Insert dead baby joke here. Next slide, please. All right, so any questions on this slide? This slide will be available after the conference. All right, so the difference between a number 1, a number 2, and a number 3, I'm going to use this in very simple analogies. Now, a number 1 is generally yellow. A number 2 is generally brown. A number 3 is generally when, well, the brown stuff comes out with the consistency of the yellow. Next slide, please. All right, now I'm actually going to ask for assistance on presenting this slide, as Nooksy's still in the room. I think that he's our resident librarian and would be able to speak. Yeah, I would love some books. I'm quite learned now, thank you. Read more books and get some books here at Notacon. I think that the cash bar is somewhere around here. And the cash library, I'm sorry, because we can't afford to have a free library here. I'm sorry? Depends on who the first date will be with. If it is you, absolutely not. Next question. Go ahead. Those feelings are totally natural. A burning sensation is kind of normal in the situation, but it all depends. Your mileage may vary. Next question.
What makes you think this slide's funny?
I never said it was. Next question. You know, it's funny. I actually was rooming with a guy named Elliot. Elliot's toilet is a thing that I regularly blew up. Now, the interesting thing is, show of hands, who's familiar with the expression downloading a brown load? Anybody? Anybody? All right. Jay, obviously I've been to your toilet. Anybody? Anybody? All right. Well, basically what happens is as you may be able to tell, I'm somewhat brown. What happens is I grow a tail, and then I abruptly cut it off. You think it's any better for me? I'm the one in there. Any questions? Nooksy, yes.
Have you starred in any Japanese adult films?
Not recently, but I am in Grannies and Fatties number 6, available at your local pornographer. Next slide, please. Oh, wait, this is the final slide. Oh, even better. Any questions? Probably. Next question. Yes, sir. Why are the Japanese obsessed with octopus? You know, this is a very good question. Rogue, since you're Japanese, I'm going to ask you. Why are the Japanese obsessed with octopus porn?
That's your question, Barbecue. Nice try.
Yeah, well. All right. Next question. Go ahead, Jay. Nope. All right. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question? And can you take the phallus out of your mouth when you do it this time? They live on a good one. Next question. 7-pointed star. Next question. Anything that I deem as such. Yes, sir. I sold it for drugs. Yes, Nooksy, you can have some. Next question. Yes, sir. Some of the drugs? We'll talk. I usually have pretty negotiable rates. Ian, go ahead.
Can I mix heroin and meth in the same syringe?
Yes, you can, and the results are amazing. As soon as you think it's sleepy time. Good morning. Yes, sir.
How long will the acid forever stamps last?
Generally until the acid is privatized. Yes, you, by the exit sign.
As a sidebar to his question,
You go ahead.
you're mixing those two drugs. Is that now currently being caught on the streets belt-facing?
It is not, however. Can someone please put that on Urban Dictionary? Somebody, now. Yes, sir. I'm sorry? It is a bookstore. So you should patronize our bookstore. Okay? Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. And Barbecue Sauce is completely right. The bookstore is open in the Pixel Jam Lounge. The bookstore is open upstairs. Please patronize the bookstore. They have good books there. Cash only. Number 7, Suitor Rain. What number deck? 19. That one was just done. I'm giving you 18 instead.
Oh, that's not prime.
If you want something prime, the only prime number I have left is 1. Do you want number 1? Oh, you're right. It's the only, I don't know, 1 is, 2 is not left. All of the prime numbers are gone. So I'm going to give you 18 because I already crossed it out. And it's close to 19. And it is legal.
Now, this is a story all about how my life got flipped right upside down. Next slide, please. Yes. Yeah, seriously, I should have went with the prime numbers. I do love Flowers in a Box. Is that the sequel to Snakes on the Plane? Well, it could be if you think about it. Next slide, please. Fucking magnets. I don't usually like to do questions in the middle of the talk, but who here is a scientist? Does anyone like certain brand of soda? Yeah, so I'm a believer in miracles. And this is one of them. Next slide, please.
Actually, I got a question upon that.
Go ahead, sir. And you're recording this? If anyone puts this on Twitter, you're dead. I am a firm believer in anti-harassment policy.
If we're offended by this slide, who do we report it to?
Your mom.
Okay.
That guy, yeah, okay. Yeah, I have absolutely nothing here. Questions, please. Sir.
Would a magistrate be involved if we were indeed offended by that last slide?
Only in Canada. Next.
Can you put your dongle in the box?
Yes, you can.
What if it's forked?
Okay, so it was bad enough with the... Yes, now we're going to get the authorities involved. In the back?
Did you need any firmware for your dongle?
No. Right there.
Did you have to deflower the box before you put it
Thank you. That's all the time I have for questions.
Thank you, Suitor Rain. Number 13, Valkyrie. We do have slide deck 8. It is all yours.
Excellent, I think. But it's a cube.
That makes it safe.
Okay, I have very strong opinions about my telephone. I've never carried a cell phone that doesn't have a hardware keyboard because who needs to actually talk on the phone anyway? It's very important to have a clicky keyboard, otherwise you can't use your phone. Next slide. So, wow, eggs. So, exactly. The eggs in the box. I'm sorry. I don't think so because that box has obviously not been deflowered. So and these are very, very colorful, very, very flowered eggs. So I don't believe so. They're much too colorful to be proper virgin eggs. Maybe. Next slide. So, the telephone and the eggs I want to get together. What do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? Spelling bees. Everybody loves a spelling bee, I think. And the bees and the hornets and the stinging things and all that good stuff. Physics wasps, you really got to watch out for those because they'll get you every time. And you need to be aware if you're allergic too.
You hire the physics wasps to develop technology?
I wouldn't advise it because physics wasps are very, very undependable. So, question.
Are you implying that only white Anglo-Saxon Protestants can do chemistry and physics?
No, I believe we have mathematics hornets, so I think that covers the Asians. Okay, and the zonkey, because we need more diversity. So in order to get more diversity, we need to start thinking about different types of animals. And so you definitely want a horse of a different color. It's very unfortunate that they haven't come up with more interesting colors. So if you have questions, I don't talk on the phone. I also have some security and privacy concerns about communications via normal method. So I definitely, if you have a telegraph, I definitely, if you want to send me some Morse code, that's the ideal method for communications. Yes.
All right, sending you by telegraph. But do you feel that Cards Against Humanity is the seminal game for our day and age today?
For a certain subset of North American culture, I believe it is a fundamental underlying commonality between the entire stripe that is represented here today and extending into the future. It's a very forward-thinking game. Okay, is that it?
That's it, unless anyone has any other questions. Thank you. Dimitri. You said what? Deck one? Deck one. All yours.
Be kind to me. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, sinners in the hands of the angry God, I'm here to talk to you about a topic near and dear to your hearts, surviving the apocalypse. Now, as we know, the apocalypse will be caused by disastrous Darm Stadium spill. It will be a surprise. Next slide, please.
Wait, you're telling us now. How will you be surprised?
Or you'll be surprised.
Because no one shall know the day or know the hour.
No one does expect Darm Stadium. The question, as you prepare for the apocalypse, on all of your mind will be, what's in a peep?
Amen.
Too horrible to explain. Next slide, please. Everything that you've come to hold near and dear to your heart will be deleted by the aforementioned Darm Stadium spill. The other little-known cause of the apocalypse is when an Emacs instance gains sentience, merges with the code of AOL. Too horrible to contemplate. Next slide.
Will former Chicago Mayor Richard Daley be responsible for the upcoming apocalypse?
Is he an Emacs user?
I think so.
Well, then yes. Next slide, please. When preparing for the apocalypse,
Hamburger help was delicious.
dear God. When the skies split asunder and then dartmonium, or whatever the hell it was, rains on your head, you will need protection. The apocalypse-approved head protection comes in several of these stylish and very comfortable styles. Next slide, please. And in conclusion, it will be... Help. That is what the bear saw when it came over the mountain. And the bear is every single one of you. Questions, please. Yes, sir, you in the yellow.
What if you're allergic to the standard head protection?
A true Emacs user is never allergic to the standard hex protection. Bear fur. Only other option. Yes, sir.
Will you accept the hamburger helper as your Lord and Savior?
I and all true believers must accept the hamburger helper as your true Lord and Savior.
Amen.
Amen.
When is the surprise apocalypse supposed to happen?
Ma'am, I do believe it's a surprise. You, sir. No! Silence! Get this man out of here! Emacs. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, sir.
What if my head is way too big for the standard protection?
Despite what your mom may have told you, do not believe the propaganda. Yes. You again? You, sir, are the reason that God will cause the apocalypse and Emacs to become sentient. Yes, sir.
Good idea or fabulous idea?
Fabulous idea. Yeah. All right. That's all the time I have tonight.
Thank you very much, Dimitri. Number 15, Yaz, are you here? He's not here. Okay, I will set him aside. If we get back to him and he's not here and it's the end, then we'll have to have someone else go in his place. But number 9, Honoria. All right, 9, 10, 15, or 20?
20. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Noria, and I will be speaking to you about the technological implications, teleological, of handing someone a warm beer at a barbecue. All right, this is serious business. I don't know if the room will be able to handle this, so I'm going to get as far through the talk as I can, but if you're feeling uncomfortable, please exit. Next slide, please. Happy fluffy snows. Now, some of these may cause things that appear to be warm beer, but you want to hand that off as quickly as possible, no matter what situation you're in. Otherwise, people may blame it on you. We have, let's see, Severed Feet, a Gulliver's Travels-esque. That looks like Kelvin. These, I believe, are actually aliens, and you know what? Just the warm beer will be your friend in this situation, because if you toss it on them or use it to write your name, then they'll probably melt. Next slide. Don't wear a hat. Despite what everything in the last talk told you, the hats are actually going to be an interference. So instead of wearing a hat, you can wear a cat, or other things that rhyme with hat. They're a lot more effective. You could wear a dog, a biscuit. Don't wear them together. They'll eat each other. Wear a bucket.
Will the biscuit eat the dog?
Yes. I will not actually talk to you about the advisability of wearing a box. Everybody has to make that decision for themselves.
What about wearing a cow?
Do you see a cow on the slide? Ask your father. Yes.
Where is the biscuit smell?
By the dog.
I traded my VCR for a house. Can I still wear the house?
No, but you can trade it for a pudding pop. And let's see, wear slippers and newspapers. They're both good for insulation when you're homeless. And next slide, please. Click all the things. Always a good idea. Discover new and interesting corners of the internet. You know there are beautiful things out there. And, you know, every one of these search engines has a different secret. So definitely, like, search around for things. I can't recommend them here. They're just too amazing. But if you see suggestions of, like, don't click that, that's just because you'll be too amazed. So you should go ahead and click it anyway. Just make sure you can handle it. You click them all. Click all of them and download whatever it tells you to. You can't lose. And enjoy the malware. You know, embrace it. Because that's what life is really about.
Does it enhance your experience?
Well, if your experience isn't already enhanced by your headwear, then you're probably not in the best situation anyway. So, next slide. In closing, you know, this GIF uploaded wrong. It's supposed to be going backwards. But this actually points out there's a hole in the last slide, because obviously you can wear a zebra on your head, and that will be perfectly great for your well-being. It's a zonkey, right? Right. And it's about to eat apples, because those are good for you too. Any questions? So obviously I have told you all you need to know about the wonderful things on the internet and how you should click all the things. Yes, sir.
So you said the zebra head works well. What about the guy on the left? What's he wearing on his head?
I can't quite tell about the human in the front, but possibly a box. Yes. By scaring away the snowmen, so you don't have to warm up the beer to throw on them or produce anything else that's similar to warm beer. Yes?
We throw the warm beer on the snow. How can we tell the genuine yellow snow?
You taste it.
What could possibly go wrong?
Probably as much as clicking on all the buttons, which is absolutely nothing. It'll only improve your life. Anybody else?
Yeah, if this were to happen in New Jersey, would there be some kind of thermonuclear situation on our end?
You know, the sewage treatment plants in New Jersey do have, like, the radioactive sewage processing for such an occasion, but they keep that classified, so that's not something I can really... What did I just say about classified? As you say. Anybody else?
Thank you, Noria. Grape Ape, are you here? I don't see a grape ape. Yaz! All right, pick a deck. 9, 10, or 15.
10. I should have watched some of the ones previously rather than staggering in half drunk, shouldn't I? No, you did right. Excellent. Hello. 3 out of 4 plumbers recommend take a shower today. These are not plumbers I would hire. Personally, I want the 1 in 4 plumber. I want the one who's so out there he doesn't care what he smells like. Is this thing on? It's basically, I want the people who are so out there on the edge of oblivion they haven't even told their parents what time they'll be back. And frankly, this is the kind of thing I don't want to hear. Why have cleanliness? We want an element of chaos in what we do. We want an element of smelliness. We want an aroma, a pungence. This is what is lacking from our work today. Why not introduce how long is it going to stay on that?
Until you say next slide.
Next slide. You see, I thought there was an automated thing going on. Why do I have to tell it? Why can't it just do it by itself? Mouse roulette. Really? Really? Why not? God damn it. Why not mouse roulette? Why not just randomly click on things? Fuck Fitz Law. Why not just go randomly? Have you decided to just automate your mouse and just randomly click on things for 10 minutes and see what happens? If not, why not? You're probably more productive than you already are. I know I would be. Well, I don't know why they're paying me. Next slide. Hello.
Are you implying that we could actually replace all of us with a web application fuzzer?
We already have.
I think click on me again and I'll tell you the answer. Only our parents can tell us apart. I like this guy. You see this? Cuteness, puppiness in a cute red basket? Any fucker can do that. Any fucker can prance in here and be cute and get plaudits and be Icon Has Cheeseburger for 10 million clicks. It's people like this we need, the people who are willing to strive and be something different and be something chaotic. Next slide, please, before I can... Yes. My bucket. Where is it? Who needs Hook's Law? Just fucking go for it. Really. Just strap 2 springs to your feet. Who cares where you land? That's the spirit of adventure. That's what we're lacking around here, for God's sake. What are you still doing here? Why are you still listening to me? Next slide, please. And frankly... That's very silly. frankly, just. 2 strawberry daiquiris should be enough for anybody. This is what I am here to tell you. And what we can see here is sometimes you just have to grab your face and scream. And then you do that twice in the morning, and only then are you ready for work, assuming you still have a job. Next slide, please.
That's the last slide.
That's the last slide. Any question? Yeah, hello there.
What did you think finally meant?
Generally, I thought it meant keep rambling on endlessly in a slightly drunken manner until people start hitting you.
And how's that working out for you?
So far, pretty good. I'm still standing here. I'm not sure how long I can keep doing this, but, you know, it's how long? 5 minutes and running? We can keep going. I'm still here. I could take a couple more questions, but in the meantime, I can, you know, start talking about... hello, yes?
How many fingers am I holding up?
8. Yes, sir.
How do you maintain your accent?
Through steady diligence, you know. I mean, occasionally when I get really angry, suddenly I start drifting off into something else, and I got to kind of really pull it back in. Otherwise people can like tell that I'm from Philadelphia. But mostly, you know, as long as I'm concentrating on it, it tends to work out okay. What especially helps is that if I ever have to deal with any bureaucracy or anything, that's when I really turn it up to 11 and just start doing the, hello, I'm a small English person. I'd be so terribly grateful if you could just help me with this small thing. And the people behind the window just go, oh my God, I love your accent, and jaws just swing open. I can tell you this is a very effective defense mechanism. Just go all Hugh Grant. Or, hello, sir, again. City, for God's sake. Being a Manchester United fan is like being a Yankees fan.
Yes.
Right? It's like you do realise that if you go to Manchester and ask them if they would support Manchester United, nobody supports fucking Manchester United. Most people who support Manchester United don't live in Manchester. It's City. Thank you, at last, somebody who gets it. I don't actually like football very much. Sorry? European, you mean there's American football and rest of the world football, not European football. You do realise you are the only country in the world who calls what you do football. It's occasionally, when you're not running with it. It's basically like a heavily insured version of rugby. It's rugby with all the wrist taken out. What's wrong with a good occasional kind of neck break every so often? It builds character. I had my neck broken 3 times in high school by rugby. It made me the man I am today.
Yeah, we went to public school.
Exactly. And you know, it's worth the occasional kind of forcible buggering just for you know. You know, how do you think government jobs happen in Britain? I'm sorry, if you think David Cameron got where he is without eating the occasional spunk-laden biscuit, I don't think you understand this country.
And on that note... Thank you, Yaz. All right, I don't see a grape ape yet, so I need another volunteer. You. Deck 9 or deck 10?
I'll go with 9.
Deck 9, please introduce yourself to the crowd.
I go by many names. Taco Barber. But 9, 10 doesn't really matter, does it? But we'll go with 9.
Oh, we just did 10, so 9 or 15. I'll give you 9.
9.
Yeah.
No. I'm going to start this presentation very immaturely. Well, I wanted to do a talk about modern soda technology, but I felt like there's a lot of carbonated beverages out there, and let me get a shout out. What are your favorite beverages? Beer? Bourbon? Those are not carbonated. I want some carbonated beverages. Beer? Okay. All right. Clorox, yes. We need more people drinking bleach. Next slide. Oh, sad pennies. Use your money wisely.
Why do you hate Canada? Why do you hate pennies? Who else would put a loon on a dollar?
Well, so who's actually going to use pennies? I mean, they're totally worthless.
Actually, they're worth a penny. They've got intrinsic value.
If you, do you know? Faces with your pennies, yes. Oh man, there's nothing here. There's literally nothing here. I need to go to the next slide.
Canadian jokes.
Canadian jokes. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This This goes right back to my thesis, where we have bubbles floating in this chart, and you have to keep track of how many horses you feed. I need more feedback. Need more feedback? Feedback? Anyways, the purpose of this chart is to give you an indication of how much beer it takes to get a horse drunk, and then feed it as many onion rings as possible to make it puke. It is illegal. It is illegal in some states to bring horses into bars. But if they're dead, you can do whatever you want. Oh. It is not illegal to have sex with a dead horse. I am beating a dead horse right now. Next slide. Smiley face, smiley plug, not sad pennies. Happy plug. All right. Well, this is a problem, because we're looking. We have a problem here. We're in America, and we only like to think of things in America. We should be more representative of other nations, because this is a symbol of our imperialism, and we need to expand our horizons, and we need to support. We need to support more plugs. We need to insert things into many places. All the things need to be inserted into everywhere. Improved dongles. Get rid of the dongles. We don't need dongles. Those are useless. They're unnecessary. There's a different. I got nothing. Yes. Well, this makes me think about, what if Bung Holyo was the person who picked the fruit of the original sin? What would he say? What would he say? There we go. Pull my finger. That is the original sin. Fill all the holes with plugs. Fill the Bung Holyo with plugs. And not just American plugs. That is the moral. Okay, questions? You, sir. Do you prefer to stick things at 110 or 220? I said all the things all the time. Always. This is correct.
Won't we get bad things from that?
Never. Never will anything go wrong if you plug anything into anywhere. You, sir.
No more port shaming.
No more port shaming. All the ports, all the time. You should be not ashamed to have one port and have another plug go into your port. Right. Big ports, small ports, greasy ports, whatever.
If it doesn't fit, use more lube.
You, sir.
Is it appropriate to knock before entry?
I do believe, I am a firm believer that you have to have permission. So I mean, you can't. That's rape. That is rape. Port rape. You, ma'am.
Do you find it dirty and more enjoyable to not use a surge protector?
I absolutely love the surge protectors. Again, more ports. The more ports, the better. Power strip. You, sir.
What are your feelings on port
How can you go into a little bit more depth? It's a little bit ambiguous. Can you go into a little bit more depth? Yes. Okay. Are you interested at all about? I mean, you can't just jump into port play. You gotta caress the ports before you insert the plug into the port. I mean, it's got to be pleasure. It's got to be a pleasurable experience for everyone. Where are all the Ask Penny questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Give him a round of applause. It's not over yet. I'm just turning the stream, not the streaming, just the video, turning it off at the moment. But we still have